Hey, it's Tara. Thank you so much for being here. I'm starting a new series where I talk about various pain and disease, and I give you sort of a general translation of what it means, the message that your body is trying to tell you through this particular pain or disease showing up. So for those of you that have been following me for a while or are very familiar with my work, you will know that I teach people how to actually take any pain or disease that you're dealing with and to translate the specific message that the body is sending you about what's off in your life, what's off in your mental state or your spiritual state, and be able to then take that information and shift into a healing mode. So that's something I'm super, super proud of. If you're familiar with my body language course online, then you will know that I take you through literally any pain or disease you could possibly imagine step by step. So today, though, I'm going to just deal with ovarian cysts. I've had a whole bunch of clients lately with ovarian cysts. I myself dealt with them in my life. It can be pretty common actually for women. So when I'm looking at something like an ovarian cyst, I'm always taking a look at first, if you happen to know which side of the body the ovarian cyst is showing up on, that's super helpful. So if you are getting ovarian cysts primarily on the right ovary, it tends to be dealing with something with the male in your life. If you are getting ovarian cysts primarily on the left side, that means that either it's dealing with something with yourself or it's dealing with a female in your life. It oftentimes in that particular case can be dealing with something with like a daughter in your life or someone you think of like a daughter. So that can be showing up as well. And the next thing you want to look at with a cyst is a bump. Whenever I see a bump, it's just a blockage of the flow of energy. There's something that's blocking this in and out flow that should be happening quite naturally in your system and in your body, in your life. So right off the bat, you know that it's a blockage. Now, with a cyst, unlike something like a tumor or a bone spur, which are both much harder, much thicker, much more permanent, a cyst is, this fluid-filled little pocket. And so it's actually kind of squishy and fluid, which means that it's not quite as big of a block as I'll see a lot of people with like fibroids, and that's a much bigger block. That's usually much more of a scar situation, an emotional scar that you've dealt with in your life against who you are as a female a lot of times. This is really more something is blocking that general flow of energy, but it's not quite as hard. It's not quite as big as something like a tumor, a fibroid, a spur. So then you want to look at the ovary. What do ovaries do? And that's what I always take a look at. What is the normal function of whatever body part your pain or disease is impacting? And of course, ovaries, their entire job is sort of, storage and pushing eggs out. So if you think about eggs metaphorically, oftentimes they are metaphorically, for me, when I look at that, it tends to be around the idea of that seed. Okay, if you think about seeds, it's the same thing. That seed of an idea. So that seed of an idea of something you want to bring into the world, because then, of course, the idea is the seed is either put in fertile soil and grows, or in this case, the egg goes in and gets fertilized in the uterus and it becomes a child, which is an act of creation. So whenever I see anything going on with the ovaries, I always know that there's something blocking your ability to feel like you can easily allow some sort of creative aspect or creative process for yourself to happen. Oftentimes what you want to look at is where you feel like you are unworthy of creating in your life. Have you felt blocked from creating in your life? Again, that cyst being the block or indicating a block. Have you been blocked from creating in your life? Are you an artist? Then you want to produce more paint, more art, more, or you're a writer, you've been trying to birth a book for ages and you feel super blocked in doing that. Those are the kinds of things you want to look at. Also, are there fears around birthing something? Do you have a fear about birthing something in your life? So that can particularly apply to women who are dealing with polycystic ovary disease, and yet they're trying to have a child. There can be real fears. One, you may have had a really bad or dysfunctional mom, and so there can be a real fear that if you birth this, you will be that same kind of mom. which if you're already aware that that's a possibility, it's very unlikely you will. So just to let you know, you can drop that. Or two, that once you birth this child, how do you protect the child? You know, life is scary. How do you, is it a good thing for you to have a baby? Should you be bringing a baby into this world? Those are the kinds of questions I usually see out of women that are dealing with ovarian cysts. So one of the things that you can do to empower healing, you really have to take the time to sit down and answer these sort of questions I've kind of posed, or think about this theme that I've just posed to you and where that applies in your life. Once you've kind of come to that understanding or that aha moment, then one of the things you can do is use what I call a retuning statement, which is essentially just an affirmation that is quite specific to shifting whatever you particularly have going on. So you're essentially looking to cancel out the one sort of neural pathway or wave of thought and cancel it out with something that's like kind of the exact opposite. So in this particular case, with ovarian cysts, a retuning statement might be something like, it is safe for me to birth anything I desire in my life. Or I am a good parent. I can be a good parent of my ideas. I can be a good parent of my physical child. I deserve to bring forth my creation. I am worthy of creating in this world. So those are the kinds of things you'd want to be looking at in terms of the retuning statements. Now, if you'd like to learn a lot more about this process and would like to know a ton more and have a ton more resources and meditations and live classes to help support you in healing anything that you have going on with you, please do check out my body language course. I would love to see you in there and to be able to help translate literally anything that you have going on. Until then, I hope that this video is helpful to you, and I will see you again really soon.